Probably said it twice on the live stream. Let's keep going. And we're gonna go in the garage. I'm gonna save that one. No, I'm gonna drive it. Let's check the back seat. Everything's cool, clear. Wait, hold on. There we go. No, nothing. There's nothing in there. And let's see if we can go find out if people
my car and stuff, okay?
Don't say anything.
shut the fuck up. Gonna drive around and I'm gonna run into things. It's gonna be fun. So you can practice some more about driving. Can't do that in a car, that's not good for it. That's not how cars work. Or anything works. I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna come up with a topic at some point. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
I'm calling the cops.
Insane!
Man. I need to. Ooh, fun time thingamabobber. Yeah. Fun time thing. Thingamabobber. Ho 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 ho. No, don't worry, I'm just gonna chill here. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. Got my pistol.
We gotta move back! Where you gonna go? Watch out! Hey, we gotta get the fuck. I'm gonna reload. Got a man down.
shitty bitches. Wait, I gotta go the other way. Get these ties. Bing, bing, bing. It's gonna be tight. There's more than one case? Are you serious? I didn't even know that. Rawr. What's a turn? Trying to get these, liberate these firearms from these gang insurgents. And, yeah, I got 2 of them. Awesome. There's so many supply crates everywhere. Guns and money? You serious? Oh man, it's not I don't say things right sometimes. Where is that guy? Oh, here you are. Oh no, you're not. That's not you. Is that 25 bucks? Dang. Passed it. Beautiful. Shwana, shwana, shwana. Is there another? I got some money. Yes. Oh, see, there's my car. Just sitting there.
Don't ask how I got this number. We met a while ago, I think. Or we should have done. There's a new property on Maze Bank foreclosures I'm pretty sure you're going to find interesting. 87% sure, according to our current algorithms. It's an
Shh. Call me Fury.
Hey, it's Ron!
Shut up. More money. I'm just gonna talk about some stupid shit, and hopefully I can be funny, you know, because I want to be funny. That I do. Or I want so much, and I don't want to like make fun of any cultures, I guess, that much, because I just. I'm not saying that anyone can take anything. I'm just saying that there are coincidences that happen within a certain culture, and those coincidences are belly tickling, I guess. So, baby, I just burped, baby. But yeah, talking about it's gonna be something. I know it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something at all. Bringing in the military guys. See, these guys want firearms. They're mad. They're mad because I'm the only one that's bringing firearms. So there's a bunch of dudes that don't like that. Shit. They're all mad because that's what happens when you try to do a tour of the military base. You're gonna because the cops are corrupt, man. They keep shooting people. In GTA, of course. They keep like accidentally triggering that trigger, man. Man, dude. All those people, man. Those peeps, man. Those freaking guys, man, they're all like, man, they're just, people, just like, so many people out there, you know, just like, living the world.
Somebody had a little...
You shut up. No one asked you. Wait. I will hold on to this money for you. Doobity doobity doobity. Lots of you shouldn't like, people don't understand where they get their morals from sometimes. And also people don't understand where they get their morality, I guess. Not really morality, but their sense of right and wrong. But no, I can tell you, I'm not someone to be to say that, oh my God, I've never done drugs ever, because I've done things, done things. I've done drugs, and I tried them all. You know, it was not, except for meth, I think. Because they had some of the ecstasy that I had been experiencing, or been not experiencing, taking. I took the drugs, but not all the drugs, but because it's stupid. Shit. It's a good thing my motorcycle saved me, guys. Or else I wouldn't. You guys gotta. Jeez, man, I had court papers. Man. I had court papers I was bringing to a judge. He was gonna sentence me for stealing all those... Not stealing, liberating. Liberating all those guns from the gangs. And then... Man, just... being there, you know? Had to be there. You know? Because everyone was just having a good time. Just being themselves. And hey, you know it's cool because there's... They had pork. Did they have pork rinds? Because if they had pork rinds, then I'm a freaking be there. I'd say the turkey, sausage, but it had cheese on it. It was beautiful. Turkey, sausage, egg and cheese breakfast sandwich. And it was a little bit cold in the middle, somewhat, so it didn't like burn my mouth. Because scalding hot things can burn your mouth. It's hard to tell, I guess, how much of a cold you want, I guess. When you get your turkey, sausage, egg and cheese sandwich. Oh, egg! It was a McMuffin. So, man, those McMuffins, they're bread. It's like they were baked, and then they were baked again, and then somebody spit on it. No, they didn't spit on them. They decided that they were going to put they're gonna make the bread anew. It's like eating Swiss cheese with no flavor. But not to say that they put the dough things on there, which adds texture. And that's what you need, is when you're eating food, to have texture. Because no, that literally just, it means that they're heating it more. Those friends did not need to be together. Thought that was, man, dude. I'm just talking a bunch of stuff right now. I'm saying a bunch of stuff. And, it's like, God dang it. This fence won't go down.
Hey, what the fuck? Wow, yo, stop tripping. Shit. Thought it was huge,
Dang it. Thought I was gonna live. Not really. So basically freaking stuff. I try so much to be able to like to have a cohesive mind and mind. Check your exclusive properties. I will. I'll do that eventually when I actually get some. More than what I have already. In the game. Uh, I, um, I want to be able to create something so beautiful. I laugh at myself constantly. So there's like, if anyone who thinks that like they laugh at themselves when they watch themselves speak, like if they ever see themselves, I laugh all the time. I laugh like 24/7, man. 24/7. Just I laugh a lot. And yeah, boy, Ariel. That is um I gotta think of, you gotta think about, man, there's like so many people out there, you know, it's people's there's so many people out there where like I guess I don't know, like there's so many people out there that think that like there's this like alternate timeline or something like that. Like I've thought that sometimes. I thought that there maybe somehow I'm not experiencing like I thought that sometimes. I didn't really think about it like all the time, and it didn't like take up all my time. I'm not like being weird or saying things don't exist and stuff, because technically if you think about it, even if the Matrix did exist, it still would be real. So like you wouldn't be able to go all apeshit and try to ruin something. Or try to ruin someone. Gosh darn it. But yeah, that's the reason why. I think there's a lot of stuff that people don't understand as far as mental health goes, but there's like reasons why people, I reference what's his name? Dude with the goatee who looked like a goat. Even though he thought that people were, that the mind behind people having sex with animals is that it's like, it's really bad to think about having sex with animals. In a fit of them not knowing what was wrong with me, I whacked off a dog once, so there's that. So only because like a bunch of different things were going through my head. I was kind of trying to to figure out where the dog was, I guess. Not really was, but I'm trying to think about this in terms that I can properly think about or say. I whacked off the dog because I thought that it needed it. In my heart of hearts, I always saw it alone. I always saw it alone, so I was expecting... A part of me really wanted to make sure that that dog realized that there was more dogs out there, and I didn't know what I was trying to accomplish, though, because it didn't work. And that dog just kept barking around and staying alone until it realized that it was until it died. And it was my neighbor's dog. It wasn't abuse because I didn't do it until it came or anything like that. I just realized that there were $22. But I think that there is a bigger reason why I did it. And I think the bigger reason was I was being controlled and affected by everything that I consumed. When I was a child, I was being controlled. I was, let's see, 15, I guess. I was completely not sheltered, but I knew there were women out there that wanted a company, but I didn't know that they wanted my company. I didn't know that from a very young age, and I never got to be able to see people for who they really were, I guess, and that in itself is the reason why I strive to try to be able to make sure. But I also knew that there were things that if they didn't realize that I didn't like what's the word? I didn't want to see any harm come to it. And there was a big person out there that I thought was everything for me. And I realized that other people had done it before because I saw it on TV. And no, I saw it immediately when I was a young kid, that there were certain ways to be able to milk your pet. And people don't know that they're gonna have to start doing that. Even sometimes if they've cut off their balls, or if they've had a vasectomy, or if they're anything like that, or if they just give them a growth hormone that enacts some sort of chemical reaction that makes their balls recede inside of them. I studied a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of stuff. But I also know that other people think I don't. No matter what I say, no matter how I say it, and I thought that it would be good for the pet, I guess. They got another one after he died. And they did the exact same thing. It didn't really, like, sit with me well, sometimes, the fact that people had pets, and they didn't know how to take care of them. But that's a generalistic statement that I experienced in my individual self, so I'm not really trying to take any,
Eat my ass!
So there was a lot of things that people don't understand as far as animals go. And in order for there not to be as much danger out there, people have to know and get off of the food chain. Get off of out of it. Don't interact with animals for a while, because that reflex will go away. But realizing that animals have in them a certain reflex, there are some people, and also these are probably the majority, that believe that animals should be around, I guess. But also too, they use that animal to be able to get other animals to make them think that they're comfortable, and then try to kill them, I guess. I think these are the reasons why people need to stop hunting so much. And I think this is the reason why, is because people don't know animals. It's like they don't know like the reason why animals are so angry sometimes, or the reason why they belch or burp or do something like stupid or funny or hilarious, because they're looking for an animal with a reflex that if they're basically kind of like humans, kind of, except their bodies don't allow them to be able to see past patterns. And there's a reason why people need to let and know that animals need to evolve. And if they don't evolve, because I think the reason why people sometimes think that they're hunting animals is because they think they're depressed, and because I don't know, I don't know, I don't get it. So what I think sometimes happens within a certain reality of or a certain realization, I guess, of fact, I guess, and what they realize within that fact is, and what I was going through with it when I was a younger kid, was being not yelled at or anything like that. I wasn't being completely like enamored or anything like that, or hurt or anything. My dad only spanked us once, but he decided that he was an okay guy, and my dad always worked off being comfortable, I guess, being comfortable and being satisfactory at something. But understandably so, he didn't live in the situations where, I don't know, I don't get it. It's like my dad's got this like instilled reflex in him that he doesn't feel like because he was young and he sold drugs when he was like 9 years old, 10 years old. He wasn't an avid drug dealer or anything like that, but he did that. He really did. And it kind of put me at a bad odds with people, I guess. People didn't like me for some reason, and that reason I didn't know, but that reason was because there were a lot of people that wanted to use whatever notoriety the South or anyone got and use it as one of their marketing ploys. It sucked back then, and I know it did, because my dad used to talk about it constantly. And my dad is he's very reserved about who he tells things to. But I also know that he found a second chance. And that second chance was only with religion. He didn't think that there was any sort of God or anything like that available to him. Or I think that what he saw on TV affected him too. What he saw around the world and who he saw as things. It's like every single person out there wants to make a world for themselves, wants to make a thing for themselves, but they don't realize who they affect when they say things. They don't realize who they go up against. It's like that's the reason why I do my live streams on a It's the reason why I do my live streams on a either like early, like not early, for either late in the day or I've done them now, but I've done them I do them later on in the day now because I realized how sensitive people are to things. And people really don't understand that people really don't understand that people can be affected by just one single word sometimes. At least their baser functions sometimes can take a word, and the way they say it sometimes can make him believe anything. And that's where hypnotism comes from. But it's also where a lot of people don't realize that that reflex itself is, it realizes that something is trying to affect it. Something is trying to take over its baser functions. It's like there is the thing that people say that they don't say. It's like they don't want to say it, but they're like, oh, you are now breathing voluntarily. It's like, no, I'm not, because I fall asleep and I don't have sleep apnea. It's like, you are now breathing voluntarily. She's like, hey, are you trying to instill a reflex so you have something to talk about when you're later on and try to associate different ideas with other ideas? When you're trying to associate those other ideas with these ideas, are you trying to instill a reflex? Is that reflex good or bad? Is that reflex okay? But yeah, I whacked off a dog, so I'm a pretty dirty dude sometimes. I don't, sometimes I don't shower for like a day or two. Only for the simple reason that, because I didn't want to do it when I was a kid, and I don't want to do it now sometimes. Really didn't want to do it when I was a kid. I really didn't. Didn't want to do it. And it's not anything out of fear. It's about like, I really think that if there is anything that Europeans got right, then they got right the fact that you're not supposed to take away your own water, I guess, because in some ways it can be the thing that molds you in some ways. It's like that whole Deadpool scene, that itself can become a reality, and I think that by allowing I'd say not carcinogens or anything like that, but certain minerals being on your skin, it allows for a very good complexion sometimes. It really does. And I found out a long time ago that there were no matter what you did, no matter how you did it, no matter the way you did it, people themselves come up with their own ideas about what you did and how you did it, in the way that they won't be there for you, even if your like dying breath happens to be like, I always thought you were amazing. Trust me, it's not any of their responsibility. It's never gonna be. But I don't really care, but I just want people to know that people don't talk about death. They don't talk about the idea of death and the reason for it happening. I think it comes from a lack of power, and also minerals and things like that. That's what I think it comes from. But people think they know things sometimes. They think they know the facts and all the things that are going to happen because of it. People think they know all the stuff, and they know that it's going to get colder outside during not winter or during not summer. God damn it. That's a misspeak. That's not a part of my it's not a part of my disorder. But I'd like to say that even though I live every day in fear of what I'm going to say, because I'm afraid that I'm going to off-put someone in some way, and that thing is going to snowball, and someone might not hurt me in any way, but is going to act like they're my everything just to thwart me or just to tell me off. And they've done it before. People have done that before. I'm not saying that I'm some weirdo or someone that doesn't deserve any attention or anything like that, or someone that doesn't deserve anyone's comfort, because people try so hard to be able to do things so wrong-like and junk. What they don't understand is that everyone had the same idea. When they started this country.
Oh my God!
Everyone had the same idea. And I don't know how to prove it. More than the same thing happens with group hallucinations when people aren't on any drugs. But I know that there's a probable, logical explanation for it. And I don't think it has anything to do with people's powers or lack thereof. But whenever I'm thinking about what people put themselves around to, or what they bring themselves to, what conclusions they come up with whenever they're younger or more individualistic. It has to go with what you know. It always goes with what you know, and I think there's a lot of reasons why people don't understand that there's a variable difference between what you know, how you know it, and the way you think you know it. And also, when people think that people are unappreciative of something, realize that, like, that no matter what, they're always going to appreciate something from from a person that's never steered them wrong. And I'd say that there's a bigger difference in what people themselves find a notion of believability in I think the biggest notion of what people need to understand about a certain person is that it doesn't take a lot to see, but it depends on how accurate the impulses or the pulses are inside of your, wherever they are, eyeballs, I guess, to be able to process a visual construct. And that visual construct can be built in a matter of seconds. And whatever people, I'd say, are suggesting to someone, it's the reason why operation rooms stay completely clear of any talking. Because through someone creating or having a, I'd say, brain surgery, there is a very big notion of believability that that anything said or uttered can create a subconscious thought or a, because of them going through a certain kind of trauma, because of the trauma of the cellular structure. So believing in our subatomic cellular structure, there are things that we devise as eyes. This is like, hey, it's like having eyes in the back of your head, right? And also that comment came from someone who decided that he was going to disrupt a surgery. I don't really want to repeat that. It's really bad. So so what I'm thinking right now is what I want to do right now is I want to be able to build on that sort of notion that there are suggestions that people create and have. There are suggestions that people, through some surgeries, through some things, people don't necessarily understand. People don't necessarily understand the biggest conclusions to what they do sometimes, and creating a formal image inside of someone can create the illusion of someone being followed. It can create the illusion of someone saying something in the darkness, even though there's literally nothing. It can create audible hallucinations sometimes if the surgeries themselves don't go that well. And it can create a big amount of confusion when that person decides that they're going to go not be in a hospital or in at least a quiet place, a place with padded things so they don't accidentally hurt themselves. The notion that that believing in a real number of things. That real number would be to that real number is about 4, I'd say 5 different audible hallucinations, because we ourselves can, I'd say, through our own energies, kind of revert back into our own shells sometimes, and not realize that there are dead things as far as dead skin cells. But I don't really think that there is ever, or will ever be, death. So the notion of believing in something or someone, realizing that there is a realization of fact when you find a person who likes to joke around in the office. Whenever they like to joke around in the office, they're disrupting something. They're disrupting a reflex. They're trying to say, hey, this guy, I come to him for jokes. I come to him for things. I stand around the water cooler. Instead of actually doing what I actually want to do and have a break. Not think about anything any while because of the mind-numbing amount of keys that I'm pressing. Because it is mind-numbing. That's the reason why I don't stay on my computer for very long during the night. So when you're thinking about what you need to believe in, or what you believe in at all, realize that when you're taking a break, or when you're doing something that you really want to do, realize that the order of satisfaction versus comfort makes you, it's like opposing, like, wow, comfort is, I'm sitting on a wonderful couch right now that my little brother decided that he could let me have because he just didn't want it, because it didn't fit in his apartment. And also, that apartment is the thing that he's not using anymore because he moved out. So, there's that, but there are a lot of different reasons why people go for comfort as opposed to satisfaction. Because they know that satisfaction is a sense of relief, and relief that is amounted on finishing something. But also, in the same sense, that creates a reflex as well. The reflex that the journey is more important than the destination. Understandably so, both are important and hold very, very many things that the people don't understand it quite yet. That it can create some sort of reflex, and that reflex can create an evolution. And that through certain people believing in certain things or saying certain things, they decide that they're going to disrupt something, or decide that they're going to disrupt anything. And they decide that they want to make themselves the complete and utter. It's like the dude who won't stop talking because he thinks that no one else has anything to say, because he got them on such short notice. It's like the guy who constantly thinks that he's doing something wrong, or or he thinks he's doing something terrible because of something else that someone told him a long time ago, because of a beating sometimes instilled in him, because of literal notion upon notion of abuse. But realizing that through that reflex of something, your muscles make a memory. There isn't no notion about people actually hurting or harming you whenever you feel the amount of comfort that you should feel whenever you're sitting on a very, very comfortable couch. Thank you very, very much, my little brother. It's a wonderful couch. I will cherish it always. It's not givey too much. You don't sink into it and you have to like think about how you're gonna get up, and it's freaking awesome. And it's a wonderful couch. And it's also a love seat. It's not really a couch, so it's just like just two seats. And my shirts and my scarf are in the are on the second, are on this, so nobody else is sitting here except me. I love my shirts and my scarf. So you realize that there are notions of compatibility when it comes to feeling hurt, feeling abused, or even feeling completely and utterly satisfied. Realize that people will smile whenever they feel like smiling, no matter the given situation, because people can be stupid sometimes. No matter if they think that they're getting away with something, because they're not. Trust me, they're not. I don't listen to like scanners or anything like that. I just know that they're not, because of the certain situations that they put themselves in. The stupid situations, because I know that there are people out there that don't want to see a whole bunch of different crimes. What? There are a lot of people out there that have invested money and time into our police academies. And those police academies is to not eventually stop or even try to stop speeders. The only reason why is because not only will it create mass panic in some ways, but the cop lights, because of themselves, can actually trigger hallucinations in some people who accidentally ingested or have through any way ingested any sort of chemical. And also, they send a bad message. It sends a bad message that it's okay to stop them, not in a parking lot, not somewhere where it's empty and okay to park there, but trust me, there are people out there that want to push edges of things. They want to push it. They want to see how far they can get. They want to see how far they can push you. They want to see how far they can get you. But understandably so, they won't be able to. I'm just a smart kid. Really, really smart kid. 30-year-old. But comparatively speaking to older people who know just about the same amount. They're a lot smarter than me, though. Somewhat. There are certain situations that people put themselves in because they think they're going to get seen by someone or heard by someone. In that situation, through their own mind, if they create a situation that what their brain's coming up with is a situation of danger, and then kids sometimes don't know the way to react to that. They either act out with anger or frustration. It's the reason why you shouldn't make kids your the people you go to in order to be able to see a protest. But and also too, I think that teachers need to understand that there are people out there that know the ways to protest and really want some sort of closure sometimes, and they make the wrong decisions. Instead of being a gym teacher that decidedly is supposed to be fit and well educated, he eats food on top of food that isn't good for him, and he thinks it's okay. Now granted, that's no notion of anyone getting what's the word, that's no notion of anyone getting what's the word, anyone getting shot over anything, because it's terrible that he got shot, and it really sucks that he did get shot, not because of anything that he did or didn't do. But when I say prepare, I mean realize that there are situations out there that if you want to participate in, there are places and people that can help you, and there are things that people themselves don't understand and know. But if they realize that there's a revolution of knowledge coming, and not of anything else. If there's anything at all. And the knowledge should be, don't act out. Don't make yourself a target if things are really that bad. My words only come from concern. I mistrust the people when they say sometimes that that everything's all good. And that's a reflex because I've found out so many different areas and so many different places and so many different things that have affected me. And made me feel angry because of something that I saw on TV, or someone that I saw do something, and someone that I thought could help me. Realize that all the people in a revolution are bad. But also realize that if that revolution could have never gotten anywhere, then some people did their job. I thought that was a ramp. The revolution of that kid with the M15, or the M15, I don't know how to call it, I guess. The realization that people themselves need to learn how to stop being the things that everyone sees on TV. Because they're trying to create a future. They're not trying to see one. They're not trying to give you a notion about what you want to live. They're trying to tell you about how you should live. Every single place, every single thing is trying to tell you exactly how you should live. And I'm telling you, it's not the way that it seems. And they're not the things that you think they are. They're not the people you want. You want to be yourself, then be yourself. If you want to protest, then learn from the people who did and made mistakes. And know exactly what not to do, exactly how to do it, and exactly the way to do it. And know the people to be able to protect you and have your back in case something goes wrong. And I'm not talking about someone kicking a goddamn tear gas canister. Tear gas canister. Let's kick it a canister. Alright, awesome. I'm talking about the people who know and feel regret in their own lives because of the things that they saw whenever they were around. Whenever they went through a whole bunch of different lives of their own. Whenever they went through a whole bunch of different... What's the word? Situations of their own. I'm stupid. The lives that they experienced and the lives that they lived. What I think is the most... what's the word? Daring part of any situation is the fact that there actually are kids out there that aren't just little piss ants that think that they can throw a basketball at someone's foot. Because I did that. I threw a basketball at my little brother's foot, but I thought that I angled it hard enough to be able to bump up, and I actually broke a bone in my little brother's foot. I've done a lot of stupid shit, but also I've done a lot of good shit, so... But also I know it's not exactly my fault. It had everything to do with what I thought I was doing and what my reflexes were. I had to do a complete and utter rewiring of my own psyche and realize the fact that I was doing something wrong and that something that was wrong was affecting people around me. And through no fault of my own sometimes.
Holy shit.
I realized that my situation is, it's really hard to rewire your brain with pills. With the pills that I'm taking right now. And, but there's a chance that one day when I'm around 35? 36? It takes about 5 or 6 years, I think, to be able to rewire a certain part of your brain, but also to realize that there is certain reflexes that you've been able to understand and realize that there are certain people out there that that I guess that know the difference between what something's doing and what something's not doing. That went fast. Those people are professional doctors who shouldn't be hurt in any way. Or told what to do or how to do it. Because they've already learned. They're a part of a hospital for a reason. So, the doctors themselves. No one else have, like... I had a dream one time where what's the word? I saw a bunch of people who were doing tattoos outside of a hospital. It was really stupid because not only is hospital parking lots are filled with germs, but they can give you it can give you a form of what's the word? Not smallpox, measles actually. Because of the amounts of carcinogens, because of all the cars that move back and forth, it can give you a certain amount, not a rash, it can actually give you the measles. Because that's the reason why a lot of people get the measles. They don't know this, is because it has to do with a lot of carbon monoxide. It has to do with the lack of oxygen underneath your skin. It's the reason why those red bumps happen. It's a disease, but even still, it's caused by carbon monoxide. That's the reason my kids get it. Doesn't have to do anything with any sort of thing. It just has to do with our environment not being rich in oxygen anymore. Because our immune systems got used to a bunch of different things that happened a long time ago. because that's the way we evolved. Don't worry, your mind can rewire a whole bunch of different things, and it's called antibodies. Antibodies can do wonders. They can rewire pretty much anything in your entire body, including your brain. And the pills themselves give your brain enough ability to be able to do that, because what it does is it doesn't dampen a part of your brain. It doesn't dampen any neurological functions at all, or anything like that. It's the reason why I'm able to talk and still play video games. But what it does is it acts like I'm trying to come up with an example, like, or a metaphor for it, because it's not going to be explained properly. It's like you have a stain. The stain is schizoaffective disorder, or bipolar disorder, or anything like that. Any sort of or ADD, or anything like that. The medicine itself, what it does is it starts to use other parts of your brain. It tells you, or it tells your body and your blood, once it's in your bloodstream, to use other parts of your brain, because it acts like a virus, but it's not. Because it starts you to use other parts of your brain. It tries to start you to use other parts of your brain. So whatever part that's affecting your brain will go away, or whatever wrong notion of like, say if you get a twinge when you smoke a cigarette sometimes. You get this like twinge in the back of your throat sometimes. That twinge is your body and mind getting ready for the smoke being inhaled inside of your body. It means that yes, people can evolve and be able to see past patterns to be able to build a resistance to carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide or whatever you want to say it is. And it's just like, that's what it is. Like, it's, people don't give themselves enough credit for the amount of resilience that is in the human body. And I've read plenty of biology books to be able to know that. And also I went to college, kind of. And then I flunked out. But that's what all that stuff does. It's the reason why people yell sometimes, or they have yelling. It just means that they don't need a cigarette. They need to take a pill and then eat something. That pill can be prescribed by a doctor. It's really easy, and what it does is it calms you down as your brain is trying to process itself. I know that it seems really hard, but your brain, it's like your brain, you know, it seems really hard to think that if a reflex happens and your brain does something or says something, that you think that that's going to happen a lot or often, or that when you're a kid you think that because you're developing, that thing will happen again because that reflex is happening again, because you associate that stuff with other stuff. So that stuff with other things, that stuff with an example that pulled you in and told you exactly what you were thinking, exactly something you were thinking, or how you were thinking it. Realizing that there is a big notion of trust within your own brain, that you know your body knows your body, your mind knows your body. Your mind knows that if it is not connected to something that it can move or be around or anything like that, that eventually it realizes that it has to destroy itself. Like, okay, so that's the reason why your eyes are always like, oh, in the thing there, that your eyes would constantly move around, because you're not only trying to realize certain functions in your own body, but you're trying to move other parts of your body using your eyes. That's the only reason why, because of the thought process that goes and happens because of it, because of the fact that you lose your body. But the more things I'm trying to say is, I've studied a lot of different things, and I know a lot of different stuff, to be able to realize the fact that there are certain realizations of inside of what people believe and how people believe it. And I think sometimes what people do, and I've had this notion, this wily notion for years, that religion itself has actually been experimenting on people. And it's a paranoid, I'd say, gesture or notion, I guess. But in some cases there were fact to it. And only for the simple fact that I know for a fact that if they would have regulated religion the way that they should have, and realized that they are under law and not a part of it, they would have been able to save a lot more people, and suicide pacts wouldn't have been able to happen because of it. Only for the simple fact that kids would have been more completely and utterly educated, and that's the reason why I'm still somber to this day. Because I know for a fact that there are people out there that wish other people to be dead and hurt in some way, shape, or form, and it sucks. Or hurt and not dead. Sometimes I speak out of turn, I guess. And that's the reason why I think I wanted to do this by myself at first. Because I wanted to see how much I like to talk, I guess. And I wanted to see how much I wanted to realize. There were a lot of people thinking that, and a long time ago, people thought that there were certain reasons why something happened. There was some sort of either demon or someone that thought that there was some sort of notion available or at all. People don't understand the things or the ways that things happen. And I really have decided in a part of ways to not protest about it anymore. Granted, that maybe I have disbelief in what their system is, not the system itself controlling those things. But I have disbelief in what people themselves do sometimes because of, I guess, I mean, I try to figure out what the notions are behind people's actions and the notions of the reasons why they like those things or the reasons why they like those things at all. And a lot of those go back to when we were marsupials and we wanted to be subservient to something. We wanted to take care of something, and that in a lot of ways can be that in a lot of ways can be disheartening to a lot of things. People who don't understand where a certain situation is going and don't understand the things that it takes to be able to get to a situation and be able to realize a certain notion of fact that there is no possible way that anyone could have seen that coming. Out of as far as all the clues went, as far as all the clues go, people cannot be given, they have to be given in some ways the benefit of the doubt, even if there are gun laws against someone. Even if there are certain businesses that think that 21-year-olds should have that because they believe that 18-year-olds are irresponsible. And trust me, there are kids out there that don't go to school, but they don't go to school, but they know shit. They know stuff. They know a lot of stuff. They know the perfect moment to be able to get something. Like a freaking, shit, the perfect moment to be able to when a breeding couple is around, like when a horse decides that it's going to breed, to be able to provide it with a mate, a suitable mate. There are people that can literally, like, they've never touched a horse inappropriately in their entire lives, and they know exactly when a horse is supposed to be breeding. Like, they know when two horses are compatible for each other. They know when they're not. Because there are certain species between horses and certain cousins. And not really cousins, but they're cousins in the animal kingdom because they don't yield good, strong offspring. And that's the reason why animals themselves are unevolved. Because they shouldn't want that yet. We, as an organism, as a human organism, we, as a human organization of people who are individuals, not me, but all of us generally, we were all born from dominant traits. All of those traits were dominant. Every single trait you could possibly even think about. Brown eyes, blue eyes, yellow eyes, green eyes, stuff like that. We were all born from dominant traits. Every single one of us. Over a certain amount of evolution and breeding, some of those traits were what's the word? Some of those traits were diluted, I guess, in some ways. Because of whatever you want to call it, slavery, trade, merchantism. Because after those dudes did those barbarian trades and stuff like that, they would enslave people or whatever. They would actually give them a life. It wasn't a good life. It was terrible. It was always hot, and there was no air conditioning, and there was a bunch of no ice, and people thought completely differently because there was more carbon dioxide in the world. Because there was really hot and everyone didn't have any air conditioning. And also people were terrible. They were terrible because they enslaved people from a whole bunch of different races of people. It's like people thought that, it's like, I don't get it. It's like, what's the notion that it's like, oh, this guy was never even a slave, so that's even worse. No, it's still equally bad. Because it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I don't get that, man. I don't get that whole thing. It's like, well, this carpet has a bunch of stains on it, but at least it doesn't have a bunch of... Also, taking the symptoms doesn't mean taking the symptoms away from someone doesn't mean they don't have a virus or a disease. Oh God. So, realize there are people out there that care, and there are understandably people out there that don't know what they're doing with themselves. And those people will act like they have a logical mind all they want to. Realize, kids, don't be like the people that are running it amok. Just be prepared and be good, and don't, like, if I'm gonna ever get a message, and don't whack off any dogs, because I am a sick individual sometimes. Not a sick individual, but I'm just... Also, I have a terrible sense of humor about my own actions, and I should feel enough regret to be able to know that there are people out there that know my people out there that know my actions, that have known the things that I do, and they're probably never going to be my friends. But I also know that they're not coming here to, if they ever do come here, they're not coming here to ruin my life. And that's like the stigma, I guess, of what the South and the North have. You know? Slavery, me whacking off a dog. I can't stop laughing. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. Have a good day. I'm in the water.